I don't know why I've got Adventurers Guild / Gumbo written at the top. I mean, I can understand why Adventurers Guild is on there. But what's Gumbo?
He was the merchant guy who Fiona's character went up to and said,
"Do you do drugs?" Please don't make this the opener.
It totally is the opener. This is exactly the sort of conversation we have when it's been 2 whole weeks since the last session, right? We're having desperately, myself included, I've got my freaking book of Yibrit and I'm going like, shit, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And when I'm like,
let's go through Aubrey's
I read through my notes and I go,
do you
that's where we
do
were.
drugs?
Okie dokie.
I mean, I don't want drugs either.
I actually do have an announcement this time before we get started. So, hopefully, if the schedule of this is kind of roughly right, maybe it's probably a week
Merry
after.
Christmas.
Is that it?
Not
Happy
quite,
Hanukkah.
No, but I
and a
have
pleasant 2030 to you all.
Exactly. I've been attempting to film a couple of like D&D how-tos, and I'm hoping to get them up in the next in the next week from when this video goes up. So keep an eye out for those. They'll be short and sweet and beautiful and lovely.
That sounds good, Ryan. Bye.
No.
Inspiration.
Right, apart from that, anyone else want to mention anything?
No.
You must have a podcast. We haven't mentioned Fiona's podcast nearly enough. We should. The link is sort of there. I feel bad pointing.
You have a podcast?
But it's down there.
Podcast,
yeah, go look at our Twitter. It's
That's
good.
where all the info
The
is.
ones with me in it are really good. When's the one we did coming out?
Oh, ages. I've been busy. I've been in the US. I've had food.
That's no excuse.
Oh.
We did an amazing one shot between the two of us, and it was intense.
Speaking of one shots,
Go on, David.
David did a one shot.
David did a one shot.
David did a really good one shot.
Will be appearing
we
soon.
we filmed the first
part
half,
one.
We
and
filmed
we
the
need to
first
do
half.
the other half.
And we've derailed since then.
That's fine. That's
I mean,
totally fine.
I've been
We'll get
okay.
to it. Well, no, I feel like I derailed it a little bit by not playing well at all.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
felt
I think
really
we all
bad.
derailed it.
I don't think that anyone particularly played any worse than anyone else. It was fine.
Anyway,
It's very sweet.
why are you always looking at me? Why is it always me?
So we have lots of things to come and watch soon.
I don't
So
know,
David's
Fiona.
thing will probably go up.
Why is it always you?
So if we film David's thing in the next couple of weeks, give me some time to edit it. Probably, I'd say before the end of the year, we'll get it up, and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Horror.
But until then, quick.
That's horror. There you go. Sam's just giving the game away.
It is horror. It is horror.
It is horror.
It's
themed.
very good.
Well, you don't want someone to watch something that's scary and they don't want it to be scary.
I'm totally gonna sell it to my mum by going, "Oh no, Mum, seriously, it's just me
She's gonna
doing
watch
one."
this before she watches your one shot. You spoiled it.
Marilyn's not watching this.
Oh.
She watched the first one, but
Sam's dad is an avid fan of everything we
Hi,
do.
Sam's dad.
We should just point that out.
I think I'm the one you haven't met.
Interchangeable male friends.
It makes
So,
me feel not loved.
A recap. Let's get on with this, otherwise we're going to get nothing done. So, the last session, the party, after literally days at sea, you managed to pull the broken and battered Athena into port of Yibrit. You went through the Yibrit Shipping Administration, a boring flotilla where the ship was scanned for contraband and stolen goods, and surprisingly, things got through. You managed to get into the city.
No problem.
So
Why
you
are
had
you looking at me like...
a brief encounter at the gate with some less than reputable guards, but you made your way into the city where the naive party were quickly accosted by a friendly dwarven lady called Lakara, who proceeded to then take you on a tour. Why are you all freaking writing notes now? Oh my god, all three of you. For fuck's sake.
I have got
Is that with
really
a K or a C?
Lakora. Okay.
My notes are in no
L-O-K-A-R-A.
particular order. There is just... I
feel that.
This is what I have to live with,
I know
guys.
Lakara is written down somewhere.
I feel that how to be a good player. D&D
Afterwards, the party's a little bit of a split. As Aubrey wandered off into the religious district, Blue and Theren, I'm trying to remember names, Christ, went to the Firebrand Anvil, the guildmaster of the smithies of Yibrit, where armour was commissioned. Sky Iron, that's a tricky one to say, was determined to not quite be Sky Iron, but an alloy of Sky Iron.
Sky Eye instead.
Sky. I'm Sky.
You, Aubrey,
Me?
discovered Gumbo's general store.
did.
And the charming Vexia, the
Oh, was that
female
her name?
gnome.
Oh, I didn't know that was her name.
Yeah, she did say her name.
Hello.
Notes. Hello. You're right. Who are you? Can I help you?
That's it.
We've all been to that lush shop, okay?
We have a freaking lush. It is. It's exactly what it is. You made your way. You encountered Gumbo, the Goliath in charge, and proceeded to ask him if he did drugs.
Oh no, I didn't ask.
No. She asked if he maybe sort of didn't.
No,
or did
I asked
kind
him
of know
if he knew
Totally.
anything about Arcanite, and apparently
the highly illegal substance.
yes.
Do you know
Excuse
anything
me.
about
Do you happen to know anything about crystal meth?
a plutonium?
It's not even how you said it. You very much went in the sort of insinuation that was like, "'Cause I've got it."
Can you shift some crystal meth?
Meanwhile, the party with Draxia, the tabaxi wizard that you picked up from the beggar's bowl. Oh, just come and watch it. Catch up if you haven't watched it. It's all gold and stuff. You managed to go to the Scriveners Guild, where Theren decided to get a tattoo.
Yeah, man.
Blue decided to help
First trip away
Drax
from
buy her first spellbook, which
Hey, Theren also pitched it.
Theren
Yeah.
pitched in. Theren, you all
Once
did
the
it.
maths
You all
was
did great.
figured out by David.
But all
By
of this
Theren.
pales into comparison to the two things that we left the session on. As Aubrey makes her way into the religious district, where we'll pick up on in a second, the rest of the party, Blue, Theren, who did we have? Lakara, we had Drazda.
You went.
Actually, no, Theren wasn't there.
No,
Theren,
he's
you were
still-
getting your tattoo, weren't you?
Yeah,
Oh, he was
Yeah.
bound down to
4
a chair.
hours.
You were literally bound to a sweaty man who was...
It's all on Sam.
Having just watched Lakara slap the ass of the
Oh,
10
Oh,
foot,
yeah.
the very
Remember
tall
Fiona's
Minotaur
mistakes?
guy. How did you forget this?
In 2 weeks.
I could have probably spent the last 2 weeks planning what I'm going to do in this situation.
Blue decides to wander over on the way past the bouncer into the Jeweller's Guild Hall and slap the ass very hard
Oh god.
at the Minotaur guard standing outside. There's a moment where Drazda stops, Lakara stops, Blue stops, the Minotaur stops, everyone looks around, and attention slowly goes up to the face of the Minotaur. Tall and imposing, even above your tall Thorn, looking down.
Not so tall.
I'm 5'8".
Shorter than me.
I think I misjudged that particular situation. No ass slappies.
There's a moment where the
Just
Minotaur
Lakara.
stares at you, eyes you directly. Watch yourself, small one.
Oh,
And
yes,
proceeds to give you the biggest whack on the ass you have ever experienced. Or let's give you some. You probably dodged this. You're not dodging that, no. Whack on your ass as you are literally propelled into the
I
store.
was going to say it's
And you
through
just
the
hear
window.
Sam, you've pulled.
Oh.
First Drazda.
You will enter what was from the outside a very unassuming building. It is very nondescript, thick stone walls rising at least 2 to 3 floors up. What once was a display of shop window, boarded and very heavily protected by iron gates as you go into the Jeweller's Guild Hall. You see, not necessarily a store. As you walk in, it is a longer hall that actually seems to be, from the outside, the shop is very much on the edge of the side of the sort of the hill. It's behind, so a little bit back. But actually, now you're in, the store goes deep into the rock behind. You can tell actually it's one of those horrible like one aspect rooms where there's a bit of light coming from the front and the rest of it is just dark and underground. This long thing, as you notice, all looking up at you, apart from maybe 2 or 3 customers who are quietly talking to some people. Looking back, you see desk upon desk of individual jewelers, all with different displays out. You can see diamonds, you can see emeralds, you can see platinum and silver and jewellery of all different kinds. And everybody looks up at once and, yeah, come in. And then literally just like, there's a point where Lakara sort of grabs your arm and she's like, right, okay. Now, here's a trick. What were you after?
Pearl.
Pearl. Right, I got this one for you. We're gonna go, and she pulls you through. Past 2, 3,
Maybe
4.
some ice.
Store. Oh, it stings. It's you know that you have the sting, and then you have the numbness, and then the pain a little bit after that. Yeah, it's
That's gonna go blue.
that's a 3.
More blue.
You get dragged into the guild hall as people on booths just try and pull you. Oh, quick, sir, silver for sale. Oh no, my emeralds. You don't want that emeralds. And she pulls you towards the back, where there is an older lady sat on a stool, just very quietly to herself, watching everything sort of happen. Eyes you up as you come up and goes,
Hello.
"Spellcaster."
Yes.
Yeah, you have that look. What do you want?
I'm looking for a pearl, not just any pearl. What you would say a nice pearl, a good pearl. Pearl costing 100 gold pieces.
She sort of eyes you up. What, to cast Identify? Yeah, we do that a lot. Don't worry, it's fine.
What?
She sort of
Hold
pulls.
on.
He looks up.
You can identify things with it? I just heard it was good luck. Oh wait, did I hear? I had her. Yes.
Yes, you had her. Yeah.
You had her. Yes.
There's a.
So she ruffles around. You can see one of these thick leather travel pouches, almost like it's got toothbrushes and kits in it, like a proper travel bag. These thick, heavy flaps. And she sort of rifles in and pulls out a huge pearl. This thing's probably like a small fist. This thing. You looks around and sort of eyes it up, polishes it a bit. That one?
Yep. This please. So 100 gold pieces plus whatever. I don't live here, so there's a tax or something.
There's a tax. Yeah, I'm sorry, my friend. It is 110 gold.
Well, it's gonna hurt, but let's do it. Okay.
All right. Yep. So you want to buy?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, mark that 110 gold off.
Don't even try to bargain.
It might be in lots of small change.
Oh no!
She gives you an eye. What sort of small change are we talking here?
Silvers.
Fine.
Okay.
Chump change.
Right, I dish it out. Do I have to calculate it now?
No, as long as you mark it off, 110 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, so
Thank
you walk out with the biggest, fattest pearl you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in my pocket.
Yep. Lakara sort of like gives it an eye. Ah, that's a shiny thing. Not for me, I'd assume. I'm only teasing you. I'm only teasing you. Come on. There's lots. Any more shopping you want to do, or should we go get a drink?
Dress, do you want anything?
She sort of is just looking around, just transfixed by the shine of all the gems around.
Oh god.
She sort of is looking around. Her eye catches on sort of like a smaller, like the diamond stall, as they sort of think.
Just
Yeah, and sort of comes with you.
we'll get you some. You want spells. Save up for spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay.
So, Adventurers Guild, please, Lakara.
Adventurers Guild. Oh, it's been some time since I've had a drink there. Yeah, go on then. Right, let's off we go.
Yeah?
And she makes you wait. Are we waiting for your friend or?
He knows we're going to the Adventurers Guild.
Yeah, we'll do. I'm sure he looks like he knows his way around. Right, on our way, and pulls the two of you upwards into the Yibrit as you sort of start spiraling up the streets. We'll get to that in a little bit. Aubrey.
All right.
After transversing through the Cathedral of Xanor, you see, as you go through into these sort of crypt, undercroft style sort of tunnels of this stone cathedral, very squat but very broad, you see rooms of various places of worship. You see armories, you see guards patrolling. Every now and then somebody in vestiges. You see a couple of dwarves, but also humans around. Inscriptions everywhere to Xanor, the dwarven god. And then you start to hear it, the noise, the sort of as it gets louder. And there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The dwarven man sort of stood next to you, goes, right, I think you're almost up. You were timely. I tell you, we were almost going to have to cancel the last competition.
Oh.
And at this moment, you hear a clapping noise from outside. The horn go off. Sort of noise coming from a distance. And he's like, well, yeah, that's the last one. Right, you've never been in before, have you?
No, any tips?
Yeah. Graham, we went through the rules.
Yeah, no magic.
No ranged, no magic.
Yeah.
One-on-one combat, just force, strength. Yeah, there's
more about these
Xanor.
things.
The whole point of the ceremony is to worship the god of war and to partake in fair combat and show that we are stronger. Just there's healing at the end. Just go kill the guy.
Anything about the serpent? Any tips? Any info? As I'm being pushed towards it.
So making your way out, you hear the crowd getting louder and louder. No, he's a local. I don't know much about him, to be fair.
Oh, excellent. All right then.
I'm sure he's
He won't be
fine.
missed.
No. Oh, that's a good point. As you're getting to the edge,
What?
yeah. So very important thing to mention. You fight as if you're killing, but once you've knocked him down, don't kill him.
Good to know.
We'll pick him up.
Good to
Same for you. You know, you give as you take.
Final move would change.
You'll be fine. And basically, you are pushed towards the edge of the door, and you can see several young dwarves, even in their squat form, like 3.5 feet, just time to sort of look up at you, grab your hands. We'll go out when they say.
Okay.
Okay, right. And
Right.
they're sort of like sweating and nervous. You can see now.
Yeah, nervous.
The great side, the cathedral itself is hollow. The whole thing is built like an oval, a Romanesque style Colosseum, and you see thousands of people, probably 3,500 people, and even then, it's half full. Like it is like you can see empty seats everywhere. The outer sides, you can see in the middle there is a larger man just sort of cheering. You can see a dwarf in full armor, but ceremonial armor, gold and white. He seems to be reading from a book and shouting it to the crowd. You hear random sermons and passages about fair combat and how we go strong from smiting, and the crowd are loving it up and whipping it out. And he goes, and now we will experience and at this point you see the competitor from before being dragged by the leg, a younger man, thinner, and you can see just half of his arm is basically like detached itself from his shoulder. You can see already priests are sort of like feverishly sort of like whispering to each other, 2-3 people in robes desperately in little puffs of magic sort of stitching him back together, but slowly the guy looks in absolute pain. As he goes, the 2 people go, oh, you ready? Yeah, just fight on the horn. On the horn, just go. It's all fine.
Sorry.
Fiona.
Okay. I'll do that.
The man in the middle, the dwarf, sort of gets his book, holds it to the air, and goes, and there's a thump as the sound just echoes out and the crowd goes quiet. He holds his hands out. Our next event, praise the Lord! And everybody starts to randomly clap and shout as the gates, the portcullis in front, there's a... as the chains are pulled up.
I'll draw my axe.
And you are pushed into the ring, the axe.
Yeah, already
Out front, yeah. You see from the far end an individual coming towards you, but you are pushed towards the man in the middle, the dwarven man. You can see now is in beautiful full plate armour, but embroidered and with materials and cloth. It is not practical for fighting. It looks like armour, but it's got capes. It's got sort of like silken arms underneath it. It looks half like Elvis. And half like, you know, like the proper like leather bangles down the arms. I don't know what they're called, like the sort of chicken wings
down for
sort
this
of
church.
thing. Yeah.
1,000% inside down.
He sort of like goes over to this other man, and you see over like sort of the other side, probably in his early 40s, a large, bald man, about 6 feet. wearing black and green armour, but you can see not much of his face, his hood pulled over with, and it looks really tacky, a hood with, like, you know how you have like Pikachu hats and things like this, but with a cobra head that has been stitched into this hood with like eyes, or not quite googly eyes, but all kind of on springs as they look around. And he got a mace, an axe, a spear on his back, and he sort of like strolls in, sort of doing this. The dwarf and man sort of goes up to him, gestures him down, he sort of steps onto one knee and like grabs his head and kisses his forehead and like sends him on his way. The priest comes over to you. My child, I do not recognize you.
No, I'm new.
You will do fine. Have the Lord in your heart and smite down that would smite you.
100%.
Do well, and I'm sure we'll be friends. He sort of like gestures for you to come down. Yeah, wonderful. He just grabs your head, just quick, sort of like, it's kind of, one of those really old man ones. Like, it's not really at all, it's just like ceremonial. He sort of pushes you off.
Well, can I then, as he kisses my head, go into a rage?
Yes, you can.
And the electric sort of goes around everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now,
yes,
when you rage,
I can choose to though.
I did check this. You can choose to.
Yeah, what do you think I was doing on that 8-hour flight back?
Yeah, we definitely checked. So we were like, I'm just going to see if she would rage. Okay, wonderful. You start to rage as the crowd builds and the things. You pump yourself up. You stare at this man, how he sort of stood either side of him. He draws a mace and just starts pounding at his hands. This is going to be fun. Roll initiative.
Yes.
As the horn blares.
If I was there, I'd be placing bets.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't notice because you are
When the dead stop.
busy right now.
You're busy.
Okay, what did you get?
I got an 8. Can I use lucky on my initiative?
Yes, you can. Any D20 roll. Just mark off the lucky.
It's a 7.
7s. Which were you using?
7. Oh no, wait, I got an 8 before, right?
You get to choose.
Yeah, I'll go with 8.
8. So Dex 8. Well, he also got a Dex 8.
Oh!
So your dexterity modifier is...
+2?
He's got +0. So you go first. Amazingly, you go first. The man, he sort of pulls his mace, he starts to make his way over, closing the 20 feet, the horn blaring behind, the dwarven priest at this point, 30 feet away, just sort of like baying to the crowd, really whipping them out. The noise from around. What would you like to do?
Reckless attack, straight to him.
Reckless attack. Yeah. Right, go for it. The axe, just make up the ground and swing.
Reckless attack, that's a 23.
Yeah. 23 hits, yeah, that's a hit.
Wait, axe. 8 + 2, I'm making 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing damage.
Straight in.
Okie dokie.
Thank you.
Right. The man sees you coming. He said that you can see him just like making this ridiculous sort of hissing noise as he comes low. You whip the axe. He pulls the mace up, and there's a moment on his face where he goes. He gets the mace in the way and smack you. You basically you don't make contact with him. No. You hit the mace. The broad side of the axe clips. The mace is smacked into him and flies off. You completely disarm him as it flies off to the back. He stumbles back, having dodged the worst of the impact, but like. Pulling out the axe. Anything you'd like to do? You've made up the ground.
I haven't thought that far ahead. No, I'm just going to storm towards him.
You
really
close the distance. You close the distance. Right. At this point, he pulls the axe out and he goes, "Fucking hell!" and he's going to make 2 attacks towards you. 2 attacks. A natural 20.
Yep, I hit.
And he gets advantage, doesn't he? Because you reckless attack.
Yes, I did.
And that is a 19 to
hit. Both hit.
So both of them hit you with critical. 12 damage. Halved. Yeah, because you're raging. And the second one is only 4 damage. So, having disarmed, he quickly pulls himself up and instinctually whips out. You've left your guard out and he clips you on the underside of the arm, but just barely grazes you as he again sort of goes and kicks you to sort of bring some ground out. He's flaying his axe, but he's at this point swinging almost quite wildly to keep you at bay. What would you like to do?
I would like to try and grab his axe. Like, he's swinging it while I want to try and grab it and throw it away.
Okay, right. Make an attack roll with strength and proficiency. Let's see.
Wait, hang on. So that's a...
Oh, well, what we're doing is you're grabbing the weapon. Now, let's make this a dexterity check. So,
Mm-hmm.
D20, dex and proficiency, because you're good at unarmed.
Yes, so I've got dex and proficiency, so that will be,
Yep.
will be plus 4 to it.
Yep.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. You go to swing and grab his weapon, and he just sort of steps back and swings back, and we'll go to make another couple of attacks at you. But you didn't you didn't reckless attack.
Yeah,
so just regular attacks. So this is a 10 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. And a 6 to hit.
Does not hit.
No, he just starts swinging, but this time because you've timed it a little bit better, the axe just flashes in front of your face. The second time goes sort of with an overhead strike, and the axe just and you just bring it out of the way. What would you like to do?
How's the audience? Are they like really revved up? Or
There's boos and like gasps, and they're sort of like they're clapping, but they're not. They're excited and they're enjoying it.
The splendour!
It's difficult to tell. You don't have much experience.
Is this guy? Is he just completely freaked out, or am I able to talk to him?
Make an insight check. You can talk to him, definitely. You could be heard if you raise your voice.
But I was like, if I talk to him, is he just gonna? Well, hang on. It's gonna be
Maybe saw that.
14.
14. It's very difficult to read in the heat of combat. He sort of like catches you staring at him and grits his face down.
Okay. Can I sort of lock weapons with him and I say, why don't we make this really fun? Like, I'll pretend to go down, and we'll do like a wrestling move, and it will just get the audience in. What do you say?
Make a persuasion check.
That is 15.
15. He's sort of taken aback slightly, and that's a great idea. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Right. Just let me hit you then.
Yeah.
And we'll go, and he's going to make some attacks against you.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
That's 21 to hit.
Hits.
And a 15 to hit.
It's my armor class. Yeah.
Yeah. So hits. So you didn't attack last round, but he is attacking
me.
you. So that's 6. So it's 6 damage.
Down to 3.
And 5 damage.
Down to 3.
Down to 2. Technically down to 2. Yeah. Raging, eh?
You don't have to worry.
He does not look like he is giving you ground. He's like, yeah, that's a great hit, and is now swinging at you, and actually manages to catch you again. You manage to just about dodge, but the axe just nips the side of you.
Okay.
He doesn't look like he's
not listening to at all to me. Fine. I guess I'm gonna have to do it my way, and I will just swing at him, reckless again, just to try to sweep him off his feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing Great Weapon Master, or are you not?
No,
I just
not
want to remind you of this.
I've written it down.
I think I've only ever seen you use it once. Okay, make an attack. Make an attack with advantage.
If I do Great Weapon Master, it goes down to 1. So reckless, that is a 22 to hit.
22 hits, easily hits. The guy's wearing leather armor. He's not very maneuverable. He's...
Alright, Panto crowd.
We are the crowd. That's our role here.
7 slashing damage.
7 slashing damage. This time again, he just sort of, oh fine, swish up. He manages to bring the axe up and again just gets thwacked back as the impact. You can just see him slightly dazed, grazed ever so slightly by, but doesn't get hit, but is like,
reeling.
As he sort of like comes back, steps back. And he's like, oh, I thought you were going to lay off me.
You didn't follow what I said!
Oh, fuck you!
Yeah, fuck you!
And then we'll now attack you again with advantage.
Yeah.
Because you're reckless.
Yeah.
It's only an 8.
Doesn't hit.
No. And that is a 22.
Does hit.
That one does hit.
Yeah.
Oh, bad rolling. I did 2 damage. So that's halved. So, okay. Again, this time he's just laying into you. You manage to easily parry his weapons. His arm just thump into you as the impacts come down on your weapon, like energy slapping, but you've got this. He's not doing too much.
Can I have a look around? Is he the real serpent? I look around to see if there's anyone else creeping up on me at all, whilst sort of powering.
Make a perception check.
Smart move.
Perception is 11.
11. There's nobody sneaking up. No, you can see as you look around, the crowd are sort of watching. You can see food is being dispensed amongst the crowd. There's lots of iconography to Xanor, the sort of dwarven god. You can see
Nice.
people with boxes of money sort of going around, shaking it in front of people's noses with tickets. You can see, but nobody seems to be sneaking up on you per se.
Right.
No, the only person in the ring with you, apart from
This-
the edges with the
This
priests
idiot, yeah.
ready to come in, is the idiot in the middle. Yeah.
Fine. I want to lock that stupid hat off his head.
Okay.
Fuck it. Reckless, great weapon master. There.
Okay. Let's do it. So remember, you get a -5 to the
Yeah,
attack,
I've got it on there.
but you do have advantage still.
But it's gonna be shit.
Ooh.
Hang on. That's an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Oh, that never works.
Okay. We'll see what this is like.
10. So 10. 22 slashing damage.
22.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Is he down?
Right. So this time
That
you
hat
just
is
sort of like you
disintegrated.
engaged him. You watch the fact that he like every time brings his weapon up in the same way to almost parry the blow. Even though it's a huge axe, he brings his weapon up to do it, and you go, "Fuck this!"
Yeah.
And almost like a golf swing, you deliberately sunder the weapon and almost like making up the ground. Big sweeping thing. He brings his weapon up, and there's a moment where the crowd just goes silent as your weapon scythes through the handle of the axe, and the entire blade of the axe thwack beds in his torso, 5-6 inches in. And there's a moment where you almost have to like kick him off to
Yeah.
put it out, as he just like slumps back, blood gushing everywhere, and the crowd.
Can I take his hat and then just rip it in half and throw it away?
Yes, you can. Make a performance check
Damn
as
straight.
you do that. I just want to see how good is a showboater.
5.
You go to grab it off his head. The priests already by this point muttering and like casting their hands over it. You see the impact of the wound immediately starts to knit up. He still remains unconscious,
Yeah.
but you can see definitely the bleeding stops and he's stabilized very quickly. But they kind of like gesture out the way. You don't quite grab the hat. It looks a bit silly. You kind of just start playing up to the crowd.
Yeah, 100%.
Priest in the middle, just clapping. My child, what a performance! A capable fighter. Tell me, what is your name? And you can see his name just booms out into the crowd.
cool.
Way too loud.
Sorry, I watched too much WWE on the flight back.
What's to be?
See if you remember your stage name. You gave me
I
that.
do know what it is. I wrote that down, so I'm trying to do a Gene Simmons impression. Hang on. My name! It's Stormbreaker! And I'll get the lightning.
The
everywhere.
lightning, yeah, cracks out. Yeah. At this point, he sort of steps back, and everybody's cheering up as he sort of with his like Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker! I say, you serve combat. Well, the fighting is righteous. Crowd, watch the bravery of this individual. And he just starts going into the sermon about how the combat, it hones people, it gives bravery, it helps confront problems, it just, all of these things. You are loved. Eventually, you calm down. There's a second where you kind of go, feel a bit giddy.
My hair sort of
By
goes
this
out a little
point,
bit.
they're 80 feet behind you, just in the sand of this sort of pit. The serpent is still being dragged out, this blood trail getting thinner and thinner as the wound is closed behind him, but still impact, and you are led back through, this time through the other tunnel into the sort of the far side of the cathedral, as you were led out of the ring.
Can I turn back and like give a kiss to the audience?
Yeah, you can. It's like, at this point, though, he's you can see the dwarven man is basically finalising the procedure. He's the last sermons. He has them all singing at one point. It's very. The whole crowd are behind this performance. It's very. How do I put this? Very live sport.
Yeah.
Not so much hymns as shouting anthems, and you hear bits of serpents dead, and then Stormbreaker, and then they haven't quite got a chant for you. Yeah, but it's just like it ripples around. He like 200, 300 people start shouting there. Some other people start shouting, but they've forgotten what they're doing by the time these guys shout. It's not quite coherent crowd behaviour, but you get that. As you're led into the tunnel behind. You are greeted again by the dwarf from the day. And he goes, well done.
Yes,
well done.
Thank you.
That was good. You hurt? Do you need
no,
no,
well, I could do with some healing,
well, No, well, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be absolutely fine.
You said the serpent was like a challenge.
Well, I mean, he's a big guy. So, right,
He was wearing a silly hat.
Look, I said from the outset that we had a space, and you very kindly filled in. But you were fantastic out there.
I was fantastic out there. I demand a better challenge next time.
Well, that we can do. Come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
These are daily sermons. We've got an entire city to educate with the Lord's work here.
Only daily sermons. What about nightly sermons? Shouldn't you be doing this like 24/7?
Noise complaints. Honestly, no, I'm not even joking. There's snobs in the Cathedral of Paris. All the chanting at night. They've got their sermons. They don't like it. I know. I would have it all the time if I could. But between you and me, we get through competitors quite quickly. We need to. A bit of the break's good. But noon tomorrow. Come across. I will pen your name down now if you want. Oh, Nat tells me, and he sort of like gets from his book. Right. Yeah, so we have a thing to keep the fighters coming back. We took your dues at the start. That's very kind. If you want, I can keep those dues behind the desk for next time, so that you don't have to pay for the next round if you want to come back tomorrow. But in the meantime, and he ruffles through his bag and sort of brings it out, and a heap of gold, and shoves it in your hand. That is 40 gold. Yeah, daily victors rate. It's a combination of the teams and donations from the church to make sure the crowd comes. I mean, it's small change, I appreciate, but we'll keep your initial one behind. I'll give you your 5 gold back if you want.
Keep it.
Great, fantastic. Right, noon tomorrow. I will pen your name. A challenge, you say?
Yes.
Wow. He looks down his list. There's not too much going on in the way of.
Who's been here the longest? We need to topple them. The rival, newcomer to town.
Without offence, you've done one fight. I mean,
I finished that. Like, did you not see that final move?
Fantastic.
That hat would have been destroyed.
Fantastic. But the good guys.
Yeah.
They're good. They're really good.
Very good.
Well, we'll see. I'll tell you what. He sort of looks down his own. Yeah, third. So this is a fight of the third day. We have regular sermons on the 4th and the 5th. And we have our weekly grand sermon on the 6th. That's a bit more of a tournament. We get the whole city involved. I mean, normally we have to actually pay for tickets into the cathedral. We have that. It's that much of a sellout. That's more of a tournament. 3-4 fights, depending on the sort of level competitors we get. Maybe you'll fight some good people then if you want to come back. But I do say probably come back for at least one more fight.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It just keeps the people upstairs happy that we've got
Sunday smash day in Yibrit.
Tell me more about this tournament very quickly.
Oh,
I appreciate you've got.
It's really simple. If we can get 16 people, that's great. Otherwise, we get 8 people. First come, first serve. Your name, we've penciled you in, and it's just one-on-one rounds. Winner takes all at the end.
And how many people signed up already?
He sort of looks down. Ooh, I think we've got 6, 7 including you.
Excellent. I think I can find someone to fill the other spot.
Fantastic. That is wonderful. No, I'm busy. I'm really sorry.
No,
I've got to go. Got to collect the G's. Got to collect the teams, but it's all fine.
Do you do merchandise here?
Merch? You want the shop? Yeah. On your way out, just go by the doors. They funnel people out the front doors. Yeah. Just straight to the shop. I think this is the only way out. Yep.
Oh, excellent.
It's the only way out.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Dwarf, I don't know.
Just sort of disappears back through the doors.
Right, can I go to the gift shop then quickly?
Okay, you can, but we'll check in.
Yeah.
So,
Theren.
You are in the middle of a very intense tattooing session. Just sort of like this sort of sweaty, dripping man, sort of over you, just sort of like, but weirdly delicate with what he's doing. He seems to be doing a very good job.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain am I in?
Make a Constitution save.
Ooh.
That was 13.
Yeah, 4. It's alright. It's nothing like in combat, but you've dealt with worse.
How are we coming?
It's okay.
No, as in how far through are you?
Just shush and get this done. For God's sake. Fucking whatever. And he's just sort of like is doing his thing.
The last one had died by this point.
Okay, I want to sort of say again. If you're going to be a while, I have a scroll in my bag that I would like to read while we're doing this, if possible.
If you can do it one-handed, I don't care.
Could you just hand me it, please? It's in my bag. I can't. You've tied me down. I can't move.
Sits back on his shirt, roots around quite, just very roughly in your bag, pulls out the scroll, thumps it on.
Okay, I want to read the information about Alaric.
Perfect. So you got a 15 last time we checked. So
Yes.
you find it takes you a good 2 hours, which is good reading whilst this is happening, to go through the information in the scroll. But the first thing you learn quickly is that this is a very much a historical encyclopedia style scroll, sort of Encyclopedia Britannica, ledges of this has happened and then this happened and then this happened and then this happened. But you do manage to find some sections on the order, which it's not a scroll that has been dedicated to the order. They turn up in transcripts. There's a bit about its history. There's mainly they crop up in bits where they have interfered with the guild business for other guilds, and this seems to be more of the scroll categorizing the relationship of the Stonemasons Guild and their various sort of things on various islands, and the order pops up a few times, and you do pick up a bit of information. So this is, well, what do we say? So we're gonna actually David help me come up with this. So in my world, the year is 100 what did we say? It was 118 days or something. Oh, I keep doing the math. 28, 56, 112 days.
Yeah.
Right, 112 days in a year. But that's is called a cycle. We'll use the word year interchangeably so that you know roughly what a year is. But it was the cycle before, on the spring the 23rd, that Alaric became champion of the Blazing Suns. He's been in a position for just less than 6 seasons. He's relatively fresh in his role. This scroll marks him down as the 45th known champion, although that is left slightly ambiguous. And it has down that he was 174 cycles old when he was made champion. So again, that puts him sort of in his mid-50s.
Yeah, it's times 3.
Yeah, exactly. There are various sort of indications of his... it's marked that he is a paladin of the shield. That's all it sort of marks down. But you know yourself from what you know about him fighting, he's very much like you, fights with a sword and shield. Has been known to be a very effective paladin and is one of the most able combatants of the Citadel. You know that from yourself, so that makes sense. It has down now, and actually you do remember him because he was the champion before your father. He succeeds Hadgar, who's the 44th champion. And then it goes a bit quiet. You start having to spending the time going through the various bits and pieces around the history. But your father crops up in various places, significant placements where he has appeared, interfering with the business of the Stonemasons Guild. Grace Point, which is an island. Let me just get the directions for you. Grace Point, which is an island far to the southeast of Yibrit, on the edge of the Inner Sanctum. A good 1,200, 1,300 miles away. His name crops up in a article about Longwater, which is a much closer island, 300 miles to the west. And also, and there's a lot more writing, it comes up about a placement on Umberskar, which is known to have large amounts of quarrying on it. The Stonemasons Guild, they had attempted to set up permanent civilization on Umberskar, an island to the southwest. And the Order had stepped in when the quarry was sort of half set up and essentially forcefully evicted the people who were quarrying into the island, your father being one of the people who essentially told people to get lost or get decapitated. He was quite forceful in
Sounds
his
like
way.
dear old dad.
There's one other mention as well. It talks about, and again, in a slightly different way, the Stonemasons Guild managed to get a presence on a nearby island to Hartley called Eagle Cray, which is sort of, and again, near Mellis, near Hartley, sort of in that area, sort of closer to Yibrit and Eagle Cray. They managed to actually get a fairly decent presence, and it is speculated that it is about the time that your father was leading a crusade to the Phantom Coast, an area far to the south of the Inner Sanctum, a whole other continent. But very little information is there. You quickly get the impression that these scrolls have limited information from the aspect that they don't actually know what the Order do. They very much keep their business to themselves. It's sort of second-hand accounts of when they've interfered and shut down mostly the operations.
Are there any dates on these 4 sightings?
Dates. There is not really, no. Umberscar probably being the biggest date. That would have been 3 cycles ago. So, in summer 12.
Okay. And anything about his companions?
No. It just mentions various places that he represents the Order, and paladins and the Order approached the Inquisitors, came, blah blah blah.
Great. Time to cross islands off a list. Okay. I sort of memorize the details, drop the scroll to the side near my pack. I'm like, how far along are we coming now?
After sort of 2 hours, you're sort of just wrapping up and wipes up his sort of greasy, sweaty rag across your arms and looks at it. Yeah, I reckon we're done.
Do you have a mirror of some kind?
He sort of holds your arm out and lifts it in front of you. And you can see what is no thrills, but a decent tattoo. See the letter, what you asked for.
Exactly as asked for it. It's perfect Elvish.
Yeah, seems to be.
Great. Okay.
Seems to be.
This idiot says.
The,
Choose from the ones below.
the magic ink of the wang glows in the dark.
Just get it. I've written down the wording from last time. What was it? It was fight the great evil.
No
No
mercy for
mercy.
the wicked.
For the wicked,
Any
yeah,
means
and by any
necessary.
means necessary. Yeah. But just the words. None of there was no embroidery, no borders per se. Just
Just the words. Fairly utilitarian.
yeah.
All right. Get up. Sort of
Wins.
put my armor back on and everything. Like,
Yeah.
the Cathedral of Paris. How do I get back there?
He's sort of like, just out of the square, right and left. Huge white building. You can't miss it. It's huge.
Thank you, and thank you for your help.
You're welcome. And he sort of like sits back, just slobs back into his chair. You can see him straighten his back out.
If I may offer a suggestion, scribe,
Yeah.
you're awfully sniffly. It might be an idea to have a healer look at you. There's a lot of people here. It could be contagious.
Fuck off. And sort of picks up a book.
Believe me,
Oh, really?
with pleasure. And I leave.
Fantastic. Perfect.
And I'm
you
heading
make your
towards the
way
cathedral.
towards the cathedral. So, Blue, in the meantime, you are led out of the Jewelers Guild and up into the sort of higher districts of Yibrit. Eventually, after coming through some more sort of shops in the area, you see various different places along the sides. A couple of taverns that catch your interest. You see what appears to be it's the sign outside that takes your fancy. The way that it almost seems to move and swing, but there is a 8-foot hanging dragon that its tail bent round all the way through the length of its body and is stuffed in its mouth. And you see it
Oh, creepy.
as it swings in the breeze, just this sort of weird laughing noise out of the sign emblazing the cackling dragon. as you walk past. You make your way further up. There seems to be, in a back street, you see even sort of 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, fairly busy, a tavern called the Drunken Urchin. Sort of hidden in the back. You see various other guild halls. You get just before another set of gates as Lakara sort of brings you up to the middle gate and goes, right, Adventurers Guild is in the middle district, which means we've got to go for another set of checkpoints. Have you got an invite at all?
Well, an informal invite. Kind of just verbal.
Okay, have you got any names? Anything you can use?
OT, I think.
OT?
OT
Yeah.
and Vandalin or something like that.
OT and Vandalin.
I
Okay.
think that was the name.
I'll be honest, I don't know anyone there. No, that's fine. And she goes up, and you make your way towards the gate. You get about 40-50 feet close to it when something catches your eye. To the left of you, hidden against the wall, is the biggest, brightest set of buildings you have seen. 2 of them catch your eye. One of them, almost with posters, just hammered and stuck to every single surface, poster upon poster that had been ripped off and put on and ripped off and put on. Ages, just layers of them, with huge gaudy writing and glowing signage at the top that just says Grando's Great Hall of Oddities, and you see various signs going, come now, come all. and various sort of signs you see like, ooh, the halfling with 3 legs, limited time only. You see the box, it makes sounds, but it also makes smells. Only if you can just a bit like weird signage going on here. And like,
What the hell's that place, Lakara?
oh, she looks at it's Grando's. It's a bit of a freak show, to be honest. It's it's alright. But if you've been once, you've kind of been to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a touristy thing.
Okay.
I'm sure you can go and have a look if you want.
Not right now.
Okay. Next to it, you see another building. It definitely catches your interest. So this.
Butthole or something.
Let's just get this. Just want to get the description right. So
Food hole, yeah.
you see
Why not both?
what appears to be a grand, long building with sort of like a U-shaped arch to it. Even from this distance, you can see elevated seating built into the hill behind it of what appears to be an open-aired auditorium. You can see retractable roof, winches and cranes have been pulled into canvas. It can be pulled across the top of it, encasing it in darkness, so that it is currently open air. And you see signage that says the Yibrit Playhouse. Various signs outside. You can see there's a local performance in town about some tale of dragons and elves and how one cannot live without the other. Seems very strange. But
Experimental piece.
so that kind of catches your eye. You can hear just from inside what appears to be. At first, it catches you as the music of a fiddle playing from inside, but it sort of squeaks out of tune and then starts again and squeaks out of tune. And you realise very quickly it's somebody tuning an instrument. And you hear like a drum, they sort of beat into a rhythm to kind of like try a rhythm, and it's stopped. Like what you recognise to be sort of rehearsal noises.
What's that place called, Lakara?
That's the Yibrit Playhouse. Yeah, you can see because it's written above it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You said
You
that.
can read, can't you?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you can, good mate. You'll be fine. Right, anyway, come on. We'll have to go up to the guild house now, right?
Drink.
So what did you say? OT
OT.
and Viscount.
Hang on, wait. Who is it? Oh, OD.
OD with a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like the letters O and D. That was it, I'm pretty sure. And Vincent. Vincent, that was his name.
Vincent. Okay, right.
Sorry, it was several days ago I met them.
You make your way up. The guards There's about 4 of them, again, manning the gate. You can see just sort of slowly, casually, just sort of leaning against the wall, almost dozing in the sun. One of them sort of pays attention, sort of walks towards you. Can I help you? Lakara's just like, yeah, we've got been invited up to the Middle Terrace and we're off to see the Adventurers Guild. Odie and Vincent have invited us up. Yeah, can we go? He sort of gives a look. You got an invite, sir?
Nothing formal. We helped them in their adventures, and they said, "Oh, come and you'll help us tell the stories."
Okay. He said we don't just let anyone up there.
Of course not.
Yeah. So you kind of need proof.
What in what kind?
An invitation, or
Like a letter?
them to say that you're coming up, so that we know you're coming up.
Oh.
He's not a citizen. He sort of looks around, Lakara, right? And she goes, yeah, you recognise me? Yeah. And they sort of like, I can come up, right? And they sort of nod and yeah, you can. Not this one, though.
Oh, fair enough. Lakara, could you meet Odie, try and find them, tell them to get a formal...
Oh, I could, but I'd rather stay with you two. Yeah, you're great fun. It's fine. I need to go see some snobby Adventurers Guild. I've been there before.
No, but you go in, get the letter...
All right, I'd rather stay with you. Don't you worry. She goes and looks to the guard. We'll be back here later and you'll be sorry you didn't let us in. And he's like, yeah, okay. Fine. Back with invites.
Okay, well, if our friends turn up, very tall, angry-looking lady with bunches,
Okay.
very strong, or a slightly shorter but well-henched grumpy man with a shield who's half-elf, just tell them we weren't allowed in, and we're going to Cackling Dragon.
He sort of looks at you.
Please.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, that's not
Very good.
bad. 28.
Whoa!
28. 28. He sort of looks at you, looks at her, and just goes, look, mate, I'm not a messenger. I can't be... just go in. I don't care. I literally don't care.
Oh, okay.
Go on. I just, quick, just go.
Okay,
So that pushes you in.
go on.
The gate is sort of opened and sort of pulled open, and two of you make your way up to the middle terrace, a grander, much more luxurious area. You can see there now the pavement is properly not just cobblestoned but paved. There are pavements. There are street lamps. You can see oil lanterns that have been lifted into the air and presumably are lit at some points. And you can see various different buildings as you go up. You were taken very rapidly off towards a right turn towards the side of the island, where there is a large building. So, Adventurers Guild, I like it. See if I can get their descriptions. It is ostentatious. It is a large white marble building made from gleaming marble. You can see columns, trees, open courtyards at the front, sort of open verandas where people can drink and socialise sort of semi-outside but canopied places. You can see a stunning view out into the sea as now that you're higher up, the mountains themselves seem to sort of dip down and you can see over the top of the wall from underneath out towards the sea, the gleaming of the sun and the waves. It's very beautiful. There are a couple of bouncers who sort of eye you up as you go in. Business with the Adventurers Guild?
We're here to meet friends.
Yeah. Bar. Right. Straight in to the right.
Sweet.
Yeah. What's your name?
Blue.
Blue.
And this is my friend Drasta.
Dry Blue, and they write down your names. Right. Okay. Fantastic. Blue and Drasta. And where are you staying? Just in case you break anything. Want to know where to come find you?
We hadn't actually had any plans, so shall I come and tell you once I have plans of where we're staying?
Yeah, come do that. Come on.
Okay.
Sort of push you in and you make your way in to what can only be described as a imperial colonial nightmarish building. You can see tapestries, paintings of the hunt, of model boats inside bottles.
Yes.
You can see
So tacky.
just an amazing array through corridor of corridor. You make your way and then right in the shelves, oddities, random pottery, places from things around the inner sanctum, just bits and pieces that have been gathered together as you go in.
This place is incredible.
As you make your way in, eventually you make your way to the bar. A large circular room with the longest, most grandiose bar that you have seen that stretches around 150 degrees of a circular room. But that's not what catches your attention, nor is it the gleaming glass bottles of wine, spirits and beer held above the bar, but the huge open fire with 7, 8, 9 reclined leather sofas, tables all in, and even at this hour, several individuals leaning back with pipes and drinks, cackling to each other as they look into the fire. You can see out onto a small veranda that overlooks everything with, again, a beautiful sea view. As you make your way in, you get probably about 10 feet in, and one of the individuals on one of the sofas looks up. You can see, the first thing you notice is the bright red hair, wisped with grey, gleaming yellow eyes, pupilless, as he looks up as what is a very elderly tiefling man with purple skin, with his pipe in one hand, flaming far too brightly. You can see flame still in his fingers from where he's clearly lit it, but just lit from his finger. He sort of puts it out. Hello there! What are you? I have not met you! Come over! Introductions are needed. And you can see he's totally pissed. Absolutely totally pissed.
No.
Come over!
Hello.
And you can see Lakara sort of gives you a look. He's like, if you play out, we'll get drinks.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Hello, my finely purple-skinned friend.
Hello, my gleaming scaled friend.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm a bit thirsty.
Oh, I bet you are.
It's a hot day.
Have you got? Get yourself a glass. Go on, bar's over there.
What's your name, good sir?
My name's Leighton. Leighton Shanks. Nice to meet you.
Shanks.
This explorer. You must have heard of us, Shanks. Yeah, we've been over everywhere.
Melis?
Melis? No, I can't.
I don't know.
Can't say her name Melis. No. Where's Melis? South. Oh my word.
Northwest.
Yeah, it's quite far.
No, I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure it's south.
Well, you were going south this whole time, so surely.
Yeah, it makes
That's
sense.
how it works.
That's how it works. Is that right, Trista?
She sort of like looks and just sort of.
Yeah, she's no idea of maths.
Okay. Right, well,
The impression she's never left her island. Kind of uncivilized.
okay, well,
What's that? So what are you doing here, chap? How can I help?
we're here to meet some friends.
Some friends.
Friends.
Well, you've met one already. Great to hear you. Tell me your instruments and weapons. You must have a story on you. What have you been up to?
Well,
Oh god.
for the sense of expediency and saving Sam's brain, can I go through the whole tale and maybe do a performance of it?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
It
Give a
started-
performance check.
On a sunny morning.
Totally
Good,
mess.
still good.
27.
Yeah, it's still
27.
fucking good.
You enrapture this drunken man. Over the next course of sort of an hour and a half or 2 hours, you get not only his attention, but the other wavering attention of the various other people coming and going from the room. As it gets towards sort of 4 or 5 o'clock, the sun doesn't set, but certainly late afternoon comes along. Yeah, more and more people come into the bar. You start to get great interest. You really pick the room. Drinks are provided for you. Lakara is in her absolute element. She gets pissed within about 2 hours just talking to various wealthy individuals. You can see she kind of like scans the room, picks out somebody dressed in like things, jewelry, watches, whatever
Which
it is.
person's clothes?
Exactly, finery, and we'll go over and talk to them. Men, women, doesn't matter. She just like goes and sucks up to the money. Absolutely fine. Drazda, at one point you're sort of pushed into a chair. She's sort of almost given a chair for herself. She kind of sits on very properly the whole thing. After sort of 10-15 minutes, she kind of like creeps over to you and just kind of sits on the floor and just sort of huddles underneath and just starts reading her new book and just sort of writing in bits and pieces and sort of keeps to herself.
Wholesome.
As you tell the story, and you quickly get the attention of the room until a couple of hours in, Blue, my chap, there you are! Sweeping into the room, dressed in finery, and just gobs of ostentatious purples and blues and reds and greens, comes Vincent, hat with a fantastic peacock feather blooming off the side of that as he comes in. We'll get to that in a little bit then.
Yeah.
Split party troubles, eh?
Sorry.
So,
What's time? Time as well. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back into that. And we'll see what we get to.
Starlight.
I'm really glad.
Oh, this is set. I thought you meant there is a session.
No, this is
like,
15.
Oh, it's 15.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
That's
I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good, isn't it? 15. Now you know. Now you know.
No
Right.
one's died. I mean, like, really died in that time.
No, got all right, haven't we?
Nothing set on fire.
Third character by episode 10. So that was episode 20. I've got to go in like 10.
We're just, you've got to play your character for longer than you don't. That's the only rule. I think we've just about got that. You've played Aubrey more than I do now. Must have done.
No, I think it's equal.
Is it equal?
I think it is equal actually.
It must be. Maybe.
Because only was like 4 sessions.
This is like session 15, so.
Oh no,
Maths.
let's talk more about me.
So,
me.
let's talk about more about you. So you make your way
me. Yeah.
out of the cathedral. Of Xana.
Stopping by the gift shop.
The gift shop is tacky as hell.
Excellent.
It is fantastic.
Is there a serpent's hat?
There is not a serpent's hat. No.
Help
No,
me.
actually, give me an investigation check
Ooh.
as you go through the gift shop.
Investigation is 11.
11. You do see various pieces of merchandise about some of the perhaps more recognizable gladiators who take part regularly, but nothing is branded, nothing is sort of named per se. Just sort of several symbols you can see. There's one of a falcon. You can see one of what appears to be just a giant club. One that appears to be a fan of knives, but nothing you can see.
Sorry. You there, boy, girl, whoever the assistant is.
Oh, hello?
Hello. What's the biggest bestseller in here?
Oh, that would be the, and sort of rummages around and sort of gets you, a travel copy of The Word of Xanor. It's a small leather-bound book you can see with the symbol of Xanor at the front of it. It'll teach you all the prayers, all of, keep Xanor in your heart, smiting evil.
Always in... Actually, a good point. Can I get one of those? Is there like also a guide to the wrestlers or the... Sorry. The people that come through here. The fighters.
Well, we sell limited stuff on the fighters, but we try and keep it, in the official shop to Xanor. We want to keep it to the religious side of it. Make sure that the competitors don't get bigger than the deity. It's not bigger than the religion. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, what do you want there?
Sorry. Fine, I'll buy one of your books on Xanor.
Great!
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You don't need to tell me any more about it. I will just
That's
buy...
fantastic.
Yeah.
2 gold pieces.
Okay.
Hey, it is beautiful religious text. You will not. You read this. You keep it in your heart.
Keep it in my
you will
heart.
go through life.
Alright. Fine. I'll pay him 2 gold pieces for it.
Mark it off. You have a
How-
just a Bible of Xanor.
How
Put it that way.
heavy-
Scriptures of Xanor.
How heavy is it?
It's a fairly hefty book. It looks fabulously ostentatious from the front and very eye-catching in the way that sort of is a black leather you can see with silver and gold bindings with sort of silver and gold thread. It's very well made. You open it up and it becomes immediately clear that the pages are wafer thin. This thing is huge. If you tried to read it, it would take months of very dry reading.
It's fine. I need probably a doorstop at some point. Alright, thank you.
Very nice.
Plus,
Were you in the arena earlier?
I was. Sorry.
Oh,
I'll get arrangement.
oh, great.
Yeah?
Okay.
Did you see me fight?
No, I was working on the store.
Oh, well, I'm fighting tomorrow, so you should totally come check it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll probably be in the store.
Is it just for you? Do you not have like a shift rota or anything?
Well, when the fights are on, it tends to be busiest in the store because that's when the people are here.
Wait, when the fights are on, they should be watching the fights. You should.
Well, they have all the good fights on at the start.
I don't want.
oh. God damn.
I mean, you know, the regulars, the champions, the ones that come to weekly, you know, they've been here years.
Fair
And...
enough. Okay, who's your favourite then?
Oh, my favourite? What sort of things about it?
No, really tell me what you think.
Spartacus. I'm sorry, that's got me. Spartacus. Oh my
I
god.
can't believe I walked into that fucking joke. Sorry.
Oh, my favourite's got to be Visca of Knives.
Oh,
she's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, she carries 20, 30. At one point, there was they had this big event and they had 15 people in at once.
Oh.
And she threw her knives out and caught like 8 of them at once. It was absolutely incredible. She just like pulls them from her sleeves and her legs, and she can throw them across, and she can slap. Oh, she's great.
You know, a good fighter is about quality over quantity. Right? You get me?
Well, I mean, she does lots of fights,
Yeah.
if that's what you mean.
Okay, fine.
And she's pretty high quality as well.
All right.
I mean, she's awesome. Oh,
You
they
don't
brought
have
an
to
ogre
rub-
in once.
An ogre?
An ogre. Yeah, they wrestled him from some island. It was fantastic.
Do you know which island?
Some hellhole.
Probably was.
It probably was.
Yeah. Okay,
Whatever, brought down Noga, whatever. That's cool.
I mean,
You never did.
No. Stop the fight though.
well, okay, well, maybe you will see a fight one day. I'll go up against
Great.
your knife lady. It's been great.
Oh. Well, yeah, you can give it a try. If they do pick people up, I'm sure it'll be fine. But she does need people to fight. You never know. Can't turn up enough days, you might get her. You might pick her from Ryan's randomly generated procedural list of possible combatants.
Can I get that list? Is there a list I can buy?
Nope.
You seem very knowledgeable for an assistant.
That's Ryan telling you that.
Yeah. Fine. I walk out,
Okay,
carrying my
wonderful. Is there anything you'd like to do for the rest of the day? What sort of things are you getting up to? Just for the sake of
Yeah,
experience.
sure.
keep
So
in
the
track.
only last thing I was going to... I think you mentioned something about a messenger service?
Yes.
So do I have to write the letter there, or can I write it in?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, so give me an investigation check. Let's see if you can find your way there.
7.
So, it takes you a good couple of hours
Yeah.
of sort of pointing, asking directions, but eventually you make your way to a tall stone structure. That's again, I just like to get there. No, it's good. It's good.
Back
I
and
just want to
forth between the
describe
map
them
of Yibrit.
in the same way. It looks almost like a rook from a chess piece. A very sort of large, circular, fortified tower with multiple entrances at the top. Every now and then you see a bird flap in and out of it. The signs outside reading Yibrit sendings and messages. You can walk in, make your way in. You're greeted. What sort of thing do you want to send?
Just a letter back to Aubrey.
Oh, so like a physical handwritten letter?
Yeah. Can I? Are there other kinds of letters?
Sure. The guildmaster, he can cast the sending spell. He can physically send the message through the air. It's like in your brain. I've had one before. It's really strange. You can reply and everything.
I don't really want to reply to this letter. I'll just do a normal letter.
A letter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, where are you sending it to?
Appleby.
Appleby, sort of.
Harpley, Appleby?
Harpley, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you
It
got
sort of reads down his big manuscript, but sort of scrolls it off. Letter. Is that an expedient service? Are you looking to courier it, or are you looking just on whichever's the next vessel?
What are the days? How long will it take?
Well,
please go into as much detail
our
as
standard
possible.
service puts you on whatever the local, most available cargo vessel in the region is. That could be anything from, we like to think that it would get there within 60, 70 days. But it might get there quicker, you never know.
Sorry.
We offer that service for a gold piece.
Okay. And can you get it there any quicker? Or is it just...
I sort of said, yeah, we have several, we have fast reader, but sort of premium service, we could send that for 10 gold pieces.
And how much for the sending?
Sending, he sort of goes, we can only have so many sendings. Well, we'd have to get you an appointment. He sort of like looks in his book. We're busy the next couple of days, but I could check you in on the 5th in the afternoon. Sending is 200 gold. But it's instantaneous. Like the message is passed across. It has to be quite small. Is the only problem. We limit it to a certain amount of words.
No, I've got a lot of words to say. I'll just take the longest service that will get to.
Well, we also offer the he sort of goes around. We do have birds.
It's boring, I know, but it's very important to me.
I love this.
We do have birds.
Yeah, birds. Yeah.
But none to Harpley at the moment. I'm sorry.
It's typical.
Yeah, but we're due a cargo vessel in the next week, so
yeah, that's fine.
maybe.
Yeah. No, it's alright. I'll just take 60, 70 days. That's fine.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Right.
Alright, takes your gold.
Yep.
Want me to write a message of some kind?
Yep.
I'll let you do that.
Do
Let me know what you're sending.
Raging.
Let me know what you're sending.
Yeah, I'll write. I'll be right.
Theren.
back, so.
Theren, we have not forgotten about you. So, you make your way out of the Scriveners Guild,
Right.
and towards the Cathedral of Paris. Again, can you make me an investigation check, please? You have instructions. The DC will be lower.
No. Investigation. 10.
10, just what you needed.
Yay.
Right. So, you managed to go out, right, and then left. And after maybe a wrong turning or something.
Intelligence of 14 people, yeah?
Yeah, you spot from atop the sort of rooftops, you see the gleaming dome of the Cathedral of Paris, this sort of bronze, brass, 50-foot dome on top of this white marble building. You walk into the religious quarter. At this point, you can see streams of people coming out of a large stone structure to the left. You see the iconography, and as a religious man, you would recognise it as the Cathedral of Xanor, the dwarven god. Streaming, hundreds and hundreds of people coming out of this building. But the Cathedral of Paris, straight ahead of you, this gleaming white building.
Okay, so I will just walk straight through the streaming crowds of people and muster under my breath, heathens, and just keep going.
You just angrily push your way through. You start making your way up the steps. Make me a perception check.
Oh god, no, that's not good at all. That is a 3.
Jesus. 3. The building is so big. It is incredibly big. It's not as big as the Citadel, but you've never seen like a huge single structure like this. It is a large rectangular sort of cube that goes back with a huge dome on the top of it with wings out on one side. You walk your way up the steps and through the double doors, but they've been left slightly open, and the hugest inside space, seating for several thousand people, wooden pews that sort of line up facing the front. You can see the iconography of Perif everywhere, the sun, the light, the paladin, her sort of flaming sword, everything that you sort of recognise. But it's weird. It's familiar and comforting after all this time.
Okay.
It is almost empty. There are probably 15 people in various points on the pews, either just sort of like looking around, sat down on the pews, or sort of muttering under their breath, sort of heads in their hands, or praying, or keeping to themselves. You see a couple of, every now and then, the white robes of a cleric or a priest of some kind, sort of making their way from one vestry to another. You can see otherwise a huge empty space.
What would be the appropriate title for someone like a priest, but like a higher up priest? So not quite the level of a cardinal, just. You know.
So you recognise you could have a chaplain, you could have a high priest. Make me a religion check. See if you know what happens in Yibrit, because you only really know the order.
That is a religion. 12.
12. You would probably guess something like a high priest.
Okay. I want to find one of the white robed priests. And
It takes you a minute or two to track him down. They're sort of desperately sort of running. You can see one sweeping up. You go for him. He's not moving very fast. He sort of looks up at you. Oh yes. Hello.
I'm terribly sorry to bother you. I'm searching for your high priest. Is he or she available at all?
Oh, the high priest. Yes. That would be Bray. Is this on official business?
To an extent, yes. I require the guidance of Bray, did you say?
Oh yes, High Priest Bray.
High Priest Bray. Could you lead me to him, her?
I can see if she's free. Yes.
Thank you.
Take a seat. I'll see if I can find her.
I will go sort of to the altar and just kneel by that.
Wonderful. It takes sort of 10 minutes or so. You keeping a watch
I
out the
pray.
corner of your eye. Oh, you're praying. Wonderful. 10 minutes pass, and the thing that interrupts your presence is a hand on your shoulder. Sort of gently sort of puts there. There's sort of a moment where the two of you sort of stand, or she stands, you sort of kneeling. 30-40 seconds of sort of quiet contemplation, and sort of a squeeze, and she sort of stands up, sort of pulls herself to a height. How can I help you?
High Priestess Bray?
That is me, yes.
May we speak in private? There is a matter I need to discuss with you.
Oh, please, yes. Come. She leads you sort of through the main chamber and sort of towards the edges. You can see not in necessarily a room, you're still in the main cathedral, but round the back there are multiple smaller private chapels that have been built. Again, make another perception check for me. Now you're coming right into the cathedral.
You'll get it this time.
No.
No,
Good God.
it's just like crazy. It's so
Yes,
many things.
beyond me.
Yeah, totally. She moves you into one of the sort of like smaller chapels on the outside. And sort of like you're still in public, but you're much away from everybody else.
Right.
Can I? What, is there news? What's wrong?
I need to confide something in you, and I would ask that before you react to it in any way, you allow me to finish.
Okay. Fine.
My name is Theren Alric from the Order of the Blazing Sun. I know that my order is forbidden on this island, and I wish to talk to you in detail about Perth and something that happened to me on my journey here. But please, I do not wish to be ejected
Her
out of
hand-
business here.
Her hand sort of grabs yours and sort of there's a sort of very warm sort of clutch around your wrist as she sort of looks at you directly. The Order has many enemies, and they are currently forbidden from Yibrit, but be it that I agree with their methods and their beliefs or not, they are, if anything, followers of Perth, and will always be welcome in this cathedral. Please, speak your mind.
My father is the champion, the current champion.
She nods. Her expression very sort of stoic at this point, very...
I appreciate this might sound insane. Perth has spoken to me.
Spoken to you?
Yes, it was a week out of Aubrey, and we were on a ship, the Athena, my allies and I. We defended the ship from pirates that tried to rob everything and kill us all. after the battle, as I slept, I found myself in the middle of a dream, and Perith was sitting beside me outside the citadel, and she asked me to swear an oath to serve her. It wasn't a dream. I knew I was there. I could feel the wounds which I'd sustained earlier. I've never heard of such a thing happening. They talk about my father being chosen by Perith, but he's never said anything to me. I don't know if this is a thing that you have experienced personally. If she talks to all of us, I require your guidance.
She sort of takes a second to sort of take this all in. Forgive me. You speak to her. You spoke to her in a vision, a dream of some kind. It happens. It does happen. It is rare. It is, if that is what it is, an incredible honor. Perith, I have been a loyal servant of hers for most of my life, and I believe that she has only truly appeared to me the once in all that time, even as High Priest. So it is quite the honor. And she sort of steps back, and yes, you forgive me as a fellow cleric of Perith. I can feel her influence on you, the pull of her power. I do believe you. You are a paladin of the order of divine power. This is. She sort of stands back. It is a great honour you have, young Theren. A great honour.
Thank you. I can't stay, and my friends are waiting for me. I have one final thing to ask before I go. Do you, and I appreciate this might also sound a bit strange, do you have a symbol of her and something I could wear around my neck? I mean, when I left the order, they only gave me their symbol, and I would like to carry one of Perith's as well.
She, there is a nod at this point. She sort of takes. Forgive me if I am too forward. I've heard tales of members of the Order travelling from Applebury. We have seen young members before come and go from Yibrit, and you were not the first to appear in the cathedral. In fact, a few months ago, we actually had another appear. A young lady. She, again, newly from Yibrit, from Applebury, had made her way to the cathedral. She sought some wisdom and was off again. But this is what you are doing. You are on a quest of self-realization, of fulfillment.
That's right. But this woman, what can you tell me about her?
I'm afraid she did not talk to me. I found out about her from one of my servants, one of the priests of the cathedral. But I can see if somebody knows who she was, if it was important. She seemed troubled. She seemed upset. She didn't stay long.
Please do. It's part of our duty to help any others, the other comrades we come across. I would like to help her if I can.
Do you know what you plan to do in these next few years, if you are newly from Applebury?
I'm looking for someone, and I don't think I will be able to dedicate myself to my father and his order unless I've found her.
She sort of nods. Well, Theren, as I say to everybody, but especially to you, this cathedral is always a home and a place of sanctuary for you should you need it. The Order is not welcome on Yibrit, but I respect any follower of Perith, and if there's anything I can do to help you while you're here, then please, you must only ask.
There is one thing. It's quite a long shot, but I'm looking for. And I kind of just pause for a moment and stare off to the side. For a while, I've just not told anyone this because I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to find my mother, and I don't know who she is or what she looks like. The only thing I know is 20 years ago, she would have been one of my father's retinue while he was Inquisitor. And that's all I know. And I'm now trying to find anything about her.
She smiles at this. I'm afraid I cannot offer you any specific help, but there's one thing that Perith has taught me, is that you follow the light and it will illuminate more than you would think. Follow Perith and I'm sure she will guide you to what you were looking for. And more practically, find perhaps where your father has been. Perhaps you can find some clues as to where he travelled. Theren, you have a journey ahead of you, and I ask something in return. We see members of the Order occasionally, especially in their younger years, pass through Yibrit. She, at this point, sort of gets their hands behind her neck and unclasps a large platinum chain of what appears to be a holy symbol of Perith. Sort of comes round from behind you and says, just trust me, and unhooks yours at the Order.
I don't have it.
But you don't have it.
Trista has it.
You do it, yeah. Sort of puts it around your neck, sort of gives it to you.
I can't accept this. This is too much.
I'm afraid it is just any other symbol of Perith, but you asked for a symbol, may this one serve you. Go out, explore, find and follow the words, follow the light, follow what you believe is right, and you will find your mother, I'm sure, and perhaps you will see Perith's work in a different way. And I'm always here if you have any questions or need any help.
Thank you, Bray. May I quickly speak to this person who saw the young woman from my order?
You may, yes. Unfortunately, she's not in the cathedral today. She has a day off, but she will be in tomorrow if that will help.
That's fine.
I'm afraid, yes. No, it's just one of those things. We help comes and goes, but we do what we can.
Then I'll be back tomorrow. Could you direct me the quickest route to the Adventurers Guild, please?
Constantly, where is everything?
Make your way to the middle tier. You won't miss it. It's a large, wide building.
Thank you, and Perith, watch over you.
And you, my child, and you. Sort of pats your head. There's a sort of brief illumination of light sort of on your forehead as she sort of lets you go. Sort of very wistfully stands to herself as you walk away and sort of thinking.
I bow my head before I leave and head out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go follow the directions to the Adventurers Guild.
Okay, fantastic. Aubrey. Thank you very much.
If you can't read my writing, I'm sorry.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, I shall take a look.
Yeah, can I ask the guy, how secure are your services?
Secure? What?
I assume no one reads these.
The Messengers Guild takes our security very seriously.
Good.
We seal every single
good
message
seal. Okay.
individually.
Excellent.
so that you pick a signet ring of your choice.
Okay.
We seal the scroll,
Okay.
and on the inside of the scroll is the corresponding words on your letter to make sure that they know that the match was.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure if it was just like a piece of paper that someone just answered it.
No, we are open to service.
I've not used. I'm always keen to use.
That's quite alright. It's quite alright. You can see the sort of half elf behind the sort of desk sort of getting quite ruffled. But
Yeah,
it's fine.
next time.
We take our great pride in our work.
I appreciate it. Well, I will leave. Sorry, I will leave
Perfect.
now.
Yep, no, that's fine.
That's me.
That's so Aubrey. I will
It's
leave.
sort of at
I
this
believe
point,
that.
maybe sort of 4 or 5 o'clock. You can see the sun is starting to sort of dim. It hasn't gone behind the horizon yet. It's still day. But is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'm making my way up to the Adventurers Guild, but as I'm going, is there any chat on the streets? Any word of a new?
Such Neo.
One called story.
Make me an intelligence check,
Oh no.
please. See what you can get in terms of rumors.
17.
A 17. A 17. Unfortunately, you do not hear anything. No.
Aww.
It's fine, my day will come. Alright. Straight up to the Adventurers Guild.
Straight up to business.
Wow.
I to imagine just Theren's voice in the back of her head going, pride is a sin.
Apparently, in Perry, you could just take days off.
It's not a day off. Annual leave.
Don't get that new order.
Well, so,
No, you
You
don't.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
So you make your way.
To switch.
You make maybe a religion check.
Ooh.
This is a good point. So we can get this.
No.
Nope.
Not on a good
Days
day.
off.
We had this
Crazy.
talk about like, you should use metal dice. Use David metal dice. No, I'm good. I think
David's
2s and
cursed
3s.
metal
They are a
dice.
bit
Whole
cursed.
nothing.
I find I have good days and bad days on them. That's it. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Good David Theren.
Hey,
So-
smiting's a full-time job in the order.
You make your way up to the Adventurers Guild. One by one, you both make it to the gates. How would you proceed to try to get past the gate? You quickly encounter a certain element of resistance of invite only.
Look,
In a similar way to how we did with Blade. What would you say?
They not arrive sort of at the same time.
yeah, we all could
You
be.
probably would be just a little bit off each other.
Okay.
So wait, who would come first then?
You.
Excellent.
So you may go first.
Look, there's 2 adventurers there, like Odie, Ambrose, and Vincent, Sparrowhawk the Third.
The guy just sort of goes,
Look, you can't miss them. They're big
You're
hats,
the one with
sporty.
the buns that's angry.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
angry.
Go for it. Go for it. He lets you
Can
finish.
I look back and I see Theren?
As you can see Theren
Walk
just
very
from the other side of like a large courtyard. You just sort of see her going through the gate. You walk up.
Okay, I walk up to the gate. I'm like, since you've seen that one, I presume you've seen my friend, Blue, Scaly.
Just go. That's what you do.
I so
Anyone
go
can get
fast.
in.
I just kind of go. Oh, and I just want to take the moment to say officially for the 2 of them, I apologise.
He sort of gives you and I go, wait, what do you mean by that?
I've been dealing with them for a long time now. I understand your pain.
He nods and yeah. This is
And I
a
just-
tough job.
I just
Sort of
reach
nods
over
at
and-
you. Yeah.
Lay on hands.
Nods
Cure
at you.
If lay on hands could cure emotional pain,
You'd be a 20th level paladin.
and I just walk up.
Perfect. So you make your way to the Adventurers Guild. You're let in, checked out at the entrances, and eventually you make your way to the bar where you see a scene. As the sun is setting
Oh my god.
in the bar, you can see what appears to be a gathering behind or sort of near a large open fire. Blue in full spiel, telling his stories. You can see at this point, you're not entirely sure what story he's telling. It doesn't sound like anything from the Beggar's Bowl. It sounds something maybe from Melis, maybe just a story he's made up. No one's quite sure, but everybody, you can see.
It had the face of a bear, and the body of a bear, and the legs of a bear. It was a bear.
You can see every single armchair is taken up by somebody with port and whiskey and all kinds of sipping drinks. You can see people are sort of smudged over the chairs. A good crowd of 20-25 people have made their way. Some more people by the bar. And Odie and Vincent have both made their way. As you can see at this point, they've kind of left Blue to it. They're sort of stood on one of these standing tables over to the side. They sort of wave at you guys as you come in and sort of gesture you over. At this point, Theren, you kind of accelerated to meet up with Aubrey as she was coming in.
You look tired.
Wow. Do you want a drink?
Sure. You do realise you have a bit of blood behind your ear, right?
I don't bathe. That's fine. I'm sure there's baths here.
Alright.
I actually wanted blood there, just so you know.
You wanted blood behind your ear.
It's fine. I'll get Blue, get Drazda, and I guess get that dwarf woman.
Do we have to get the dwarf woman? She's just going to ask us for money.
Look, hey, but this is the one thing we're bonding on. We'll get her here. I've got something for you guys.
I kind of turn to Blue as he's telling the story. I'm like,
Okay, well, guys. I have no... Right, sorry guys. Let's play Shanksy. Oh, really nice to meet you. Okay.
That's quite alright. At this point, he is just like half paying attention. You can see his eyes rolling back in his head. He sort of burps every now and then, leaning forward in the chair. That's quite alright. Brilliant. Great stuff. Fun.
See you guys,
He
bye.
sort of leans forward and just goes,
Hey guys.
where is it?
I've had the best day.
Where is it?
my
I'd like it back, please.
Where's what?
My...
Oh yeah, Dresden.
she sort of like, is sort of going, yes.
The
Oh,
next.
Dresden.
Just rapidly like puts it into your hands.
Hide it under the armour.
She sort of points at the other holy symbol.
It's the symbol of Perith. I
Ooh,
went to the cathedral to speak to the High Priestess.
cool, shiny.
Yes, it's platinum.
Wow.
We're not selling it.
No, God, no.
Odie, I sort of is like, oh, you're up at the cathedral way.
Yes.
Oh, it's run down now, isn't it? Do you not think?
Run down.
Yes.
It's...
Tell me, when you went inside, how many people were in there?
Oh.
I don't mean this in a bad way, but
No good sentence starts like that.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
look. I was just trying to say. The problem we've got, right? And now you've seen Yibrit. Lots of people, very little space. You shove a coliseum with fights next to it. Where are people going to go? They need to update their services. They just sit there spewing the good word about Perith all day, whilst the others hacking each other apart with axes.
Well, of course, now we could cater to that point, but the side that's actually deciding on the Crusades is apparently banned from this stupid island.
Right. Keep it down. As Vincent comes in. You realise why they're banned from the island, don't you?
Because of the Crusades.
Oh, Crusades. What the Zealots go and do in the name of religion is one thing, but the Order...
Talking about my father here, Vincent.
Well, nobody likes their fathers. It's fine, I'm sure. No, honestly, you need to know this. The opinion of the Order in Yibrit is very negative. There are entire guilds have sent exhibitions out to islands to prospect for gold, for ore, for treasure, only to find the Order turn up and quite brutally sometimes either remove them from their expeditions or entirely stop what they're doing.
To prevent a cataclysm.
Well, one man's cataclysm is another person's life savings. I'm just saying how they see it. They've bankrupted many families in Yibrit. There are a lot of people a lot worse off because of the Order.
The
And
lives of the many.
are unfortunately living in Yibrit and don't like the Order. I see what you're saying, and I'm sure the Order do a great job, but Yibrit It looks after itself. It doesn't need the Order snooping around.
Yes, it doesn't need the Order stopping the end of the world, does it?
Oh, end of the world. Here we go. And Odie's like, oh, Vincent, don't start this one again, gee.
Don't stop which one again?
At this point, Lakara sort of going, what do you mean end of the world?
God.
What are you doing? Ah! How's your arm? Go on, show us your arm. Yeah!
God.
Show us your arm.
I
Show us your
move
arm.
the Order symbol round to the back so it's sort of hidden and pull down the armour.
And she looks at it. Huh. No pictures.
No, it's Elvish.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, just a gobbledygook to me.
Can you read Elvish?
No, I'm a dwarf.
That'll be it then. I'm a half-elf. I can speak Dwarven. What's your excuse?
In Dwarven. No, you bloody well can't.
I reply in perfect, incredibly eloquent Dwarven. Yes, I bloody well can.
Oh, you bloody well can, he says to you. Oh, he's a man of tricks, isn't he? Oh, fair enough. Oh, I doff my hat. No, hang on. And she goes and attempts to grab Vincent's hat. And he just very rapidly stands out. Oh, you go, get down here. You come on, none of that. And she's sorry.
I put Vincent looks amazing in brackets. White Snoop Dogg.
I think that's accurate.
I was
You
thinking
just
more
need to
Sir
count.
Hammerlock.
Yeah,
But
no, I was
yes,
thinking
White
Hammerlock.
Snoop Dogg, definitely.
I'm preferring white Snoop Dogg.
So, the conversation sort of continues for a few minutes. Eventually, Odie sort of comes to you. May I ask, what is your plan? Where are you staying?
Well, we were hoping we could take you up on the offer of maybe getting a room here.
Well, I was going to say, it's absolutely fantastic. We could get you a room for the night as guests. That would certainly be fine. The guilds, obviously, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of guilds in Yibrit. Collections of trade, they all come together as sort of like a almost protection, but helping with trade and all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Adventurous Guild is no different. We are a collection of individuals who explore, cartographers, treasure hunters. You can see our collections. We buy and sell most artifacts and relics of, especially sort of little cheaper things that we can fill our coffers with. All the merrier. We happily, and I can get you on the guest books for the night, but only for the night. Apart from that, you either have to pay for rooms like anybody else, or you have to be a member of the guild. We could see about trying to get you members of the guild. That's definitely something we could do. But there's a whole sort of initiation and guild dues. I don't know sort of whether you have any money at the moment. Everything in Yibrit sort of works on money. All the guilds are expensive to be members of, but I mean, you get access to the guild quarters whenever you want. We said before, and she points onto the room. Now, the people in this room, there are some very rich people in here that lead extravagant lives of exploration, and they will send people on missions and to escort and to travel. If you get into the guild and start talking to people around here, make a name for yourselves, there's a lot of coin to be earned.
Odie, do you have any plans for the guild to head towards either Grace Point, Longwater, Umpscart, or any of those? Never mind before.
Very
She
far.
sort of looks at she sort of thinks about it. You've that's pretty much all round you, Brett. I mean, that's in most directions. Any particular direction you want to go to?
I'll probably begin at Umbascar.
It's the coolest sounding name. I
Umbascar.
whisper.
She sort of thinks, I don't know of anything, but we'll keep our ears out, won't we, Vincent? Oh, yes, certainly. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Thanks.
Give us a couple of days. We'll see what we can rat out. See if anybody's going in the area at any rate.
Well, we can stay here tonight.
Thank
we
you.
can- We
We'll
have
have
that.
something tomorrow.
We have Cackling Dragon for tomorrow evening.
Oh, yeah.
How has your days been anyway? I haven't seen you since we got in the city.
I pull out the gold, 40 gold,
Ooh, good
and
day.
I count out 12 for Blue,
Oh.
12 for Dresda, and then 12 for the Dwarven Lady. Then I go, pull out the Bible. Goodbye.
You're presented with a very fine-looking black leather book with the symbol of Zana on it.
No need to say thank you. I see you seem to be collecting religious stuff now, and I thought this would be the perfect peace offering.
You were at the Cathedral of Zarnor?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why you have the,
Yeah.
Oh, how was it? I heard all the good fights happen at the start.
Yeah. Me too. Well, I won.
Hey.
Yeah. And I'm going back tomorrow.
Which fight were you?
It's details. You have to come and see for yourselves.
And you got 50 gold just for fighting one fight?
40.
Ooh. I
Yeah.
can't count very well.
No.
Ooh. Are there
But-
more openings? Easy money.
Unfortunately, it's only fight. There's no magic. It's pure skill.
What's that take on magic weapons?
I believe it's a case-by-case basis.
I can still. I'm pretty good with the sword. You see me?
Yeah. Well, I heard there's this tournament happening on the 6th. If we're still around for it, I heard there's like one slot available, so you could think about it.
If there's a team fight.
There's a lot about smiting and
Go
religious
on.
stuff. Yeah. I thought that would get you perked up. So. And it's like a winner takes all, best person ever, and all that sort of thing. And various champions, and there's a lady with knives. She does something cool apparently. Yeah, some sort of falcon. There's other people. That's the problem. They don't have a proper guide. You see, if I was running this and I go into a whole thing about
As Aubrey's
how I
going over, I just reach over and pick up the nearest large drink.
Which you find very easily, yeah. You can see at one point you pick up a large drink, maybe you put it on a table or something, and to find it's gone, and then maybe a minute or two later you see Lucara just sort of drinking a drink from like 20 metres away.
If you think she's getting any coin, she has another thing coming.
I've already given her 12 gold.
Isn't 12 gold like?
Yeah.
You gave her 12 gold and me
That book is worth a
You
lot.
gave her 12 gold?
12 gold is like
Yeah.
250
She
pounds.
takes it.
Her.
For the rest
and
of the
Blue.
evening, she treats Aubrey very well. She is lovely. She tells you anything you want to know about the city. She tells you stories about the taverns to go to, the taverns not to go to, various bits and pieces. Just random sort of little tidbits.
I try and get her to focus on the fighters in the like who the
Fighters?
best ones are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
I
to a
thought
couple.
you know quite a lot about them. Tell
Oh,
me
God.
all their
The services
secrets.
are the best. Now, I'll be honest, I've stopped going to the daily ones so much because they kind of happen every day. A bit of blood and gore. There's a lot of waiting around
Yeah.
normally for somebody just to charge up and cut somebody open. It's interesting. What you want is you want to go to the weekly ones. Their tournaments. Oh, that's where they'll. If you can get yourself into the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, I tell you, the skill on show is incredible. Yeah. Oh goodness. Who have you heard about?
There's some lady with knives.
Oh, yeah.
Knife lady.
Knife lady.
Fan of.
Man of knives. What did I call her? Damn, I just literally wrote it down.
Mortal Kombat woman.
Oh, what was it? Was a fan of something? Damn it. It was.
Damn
was-
it. Okay.
I've written fan of knives. It's not fan of knives at all. It's like,
Fucking done it. I've rewritten.
You broke
history.
him.
I've rewritten history.
oh, Disca of knives. I have bloody
Oh,
written
yeah,
it down. I've just written it somewhere different. I'm just
That's not how I
desperately
spelled
taking notes as we go through.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Visca, yeah, she's not really my style. She's a bit drilly,
Yeah,
dances
it sounds like a lot of effort, but
No.
a simple cut and clean can get it off perfectly.
No, you don't want that.
No,
No,
I don't want
you
that.
don't want that at all. You want Volcor. Volcor. Oh,
Not
he's my
Spark.
favourite. Volcor. He is. I tell you what,
Yeah.
he's more beast than man.
Ooh.
Yeah, you've heard about these things. Oh, Blue. Blue, we met him. Yeah, he's outside the Jewelers Guild.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a Minotaur. So I saw him once,
What?
right? He, in this sort of 3-4 way battle, charges straight in, drops his weapon, gores somebody with his head. Spikes on his head, just poof, in one. Lifts him up, impales him. Yeah.
I would
sounds-
mess with him.
Terribly.
Amazing.
No,
It is-
no, I mean
the
the
crowd
sheer
are
mechanics of it as
just
a weapon. I mean, if you gore someone, through your horns that are affixed to your head.
Yeah.
You then have to take them off. You're opening yourself to attack.
No, he didn't take them off. Literally, wore them like a
Then
hat the rest of the match.
How did he see?
Well, legs were like,
Well,
well,
surely the blood
arms
would
were
be
like,
dangling, dripping into his
I'm
eye.
tell you
guessing
what,
part of performance.
didn't stop him.
Yeah.
Just totally went on.
surprised me.
Yeah. It was incredible.
I swear, the lack of training.
Well, I mean, I think, but even he got beaten.
You got beaten.
Yeah, apparently he got beaten. I
Of
wasn't
course he
there.
did.
By who? Shush. By who?
I've beaten
Really,
him.
terrible ideas.
I don't know. I didn't catch her name. Would you believe she just turns up one time, beats him? Just she was amazing. This this like human lady turns up, 2 swords, just blew the thing to bits. It was incredible. It was dodging attacks. It was like a whirlwind of blade. She was incredible. Oh, just some like some ranger from somewhere.
Oh. Sorry, I know who that is.
Not that one over there.
No.
Over there.
Odie.
Punctuated.
I was just like, goodness, no, I would never have taken such a horrific thing. Besides, they're very against ranged weapons. It's not really my forte. And poor Vincent here, he tried it once, didn't you? And he just gets red at this point. I don't remember what you're talking about, Odie. Oh, no. Oh, he did. Yeah, he tried to, would you believe he tried to sneak in the middle of combat?
Oh.
It's a
When
open
I'm
bowl
saying
of sand.
When it's one-on-one,
Yeah.
let's play.
Look, I thought, right, there would be a certain camaraderie between the fighters and they'd give me a go. Yeah.
It sounds to me it's more about performance, right? And I say that too.
Well, and she's at this point, the
Sorry.
dwarven lady comes
Yeah,
back and she
sorry.
kind of goes, yeah, performance is one thing, but you got to win your fights, you know?
Oh, definitely.
That's a very important thing.
I'm all for giving him performance.
Yeah.
This sounds good.
I'm not convinced.
Just because you'd lose, Theren.
Slap.
No, I'm not convinced in actively participating in the worship of someone who's not my god.
We're just giving them for
Lighten
money.
up! Again, the dwarf sort of like pats your back. You need to let yourself go a bit. Come on, you need a drink. You need a drink. And she goes
I
off
had
towards
a
the bar.
drink.
Where you put it then? Typical. She walks off.
Yeah, typical.
Blue, how's your day been?
Pretty uneventful. Got this pearl so I can do identification magic. Slapped that guy's ass by accident. I thought it was a thing we did with
What,
minotaurs.
for?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's
Oh,
got
you're in
very
there.
fur anyway.
If you keep this up, you're going to find yourself a very loving playmate one day.
Oh, great.
No.
Okay. Yeah, what is? Yeah, that's pretty much all we did.
So, what are we doing tomorrow then?
Oh, wait. I did go check out that place.
Oh yeah, how's your investigation going? That's why I didn't specify
You didn't.
the special.
I went to see. I went to go check out that place, Gumbo's. You remember the big 5-story thing?
Yeah.
I recall.
How'd it go? Really well, I bet.
It's not worth your time.
Really?
Poor customer service.
Oh,
The guy knows nothing.
oh really?
Didn't even hear of an amber trading company.
I would like to very much insight check.
You can make it.
I would
inside
definitely want a
check.
deception then.
Yeah. Roll a deception
Oh,
check.
God. Deception. Where is it? That's 3.
8.
11.
18.
Yeah, something's not right about this story.
Okay.
I'd probably overcharge. I would know.
Mm.
You know, from a trader family.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
Why are you lying?
About what?
I'm pretty sure most of what you just said was a lie.
I went.
Ooh, well,
Okay,
Yeah.
then what happened?
It
easy.
was very busy.
Alright, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
There was a small gnome.
okay.
Yeah.
So you said, where's Gumbo?
Yeah.
Alright,
Asked for an appointment.
yes, and?
Why are we really doing this? And I had it.
Okay.
And it went fine.
What happened
What happened?
in the appointment?
What put you off?
What put me off?
Why don't you
said
want to
it
go
was
back?
crap.
It's honestly, I prefer shopping local, not this big supersized store things.
What happened in the appointment? Did he offend something.
No.
Did he hurt you? Whose head have we got to smash in?
Blue, let's not get Blue back on beheading.
I
I'll
honestly,
wear it like a
At this point,
glove.
Lakara like just sort of wanders back over with a drink, sort of puts it in your hand. You're saying Gumbo hurt anyone?
Apparently Gumbo offended our ally
No,
here.
No,
No.
he would not.
No.
He is the gentlest Goliath I know.
Goliath?
He's a Goliath. You've not
So-
seen him?
No.
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
Apparently his shop is
Apparently, he's never raised a fist in anger in his entire life. Set 8 feet of like muscle.
At this
Pacifist.
point,
I
I'm just
write
staring-
down another
I'm staring straight at Aubrey
another
going,
achievement for Fiona.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a well-renowned, like, lovely sweetheart. He gives money to the orphanage. Oh, he's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So what did you do that was so bad?
What did I do?
No, what did he do?
Okay.
Or what
I
did
just-
you do?
No.
What did you
I didn't do
do?
anything. I merely inquired about. Stop making me laugh. I merely inquired about.
Lakara's like, hey.
Oh, Lakara, we need to talk about your pay.
Oh, it's alright, wait in a sec.
Fuck.
Pay?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Makara, I left 10 gold for you over there.
Make a persuasion.
Oh. Come on.
It's so close.
That dice.
Persuasion 13.
13.
I'm getting out 10 gold.
She looks at you, puts her hand, or like arm round like Blue's shoulders, and just sort of goes, "Go on, we're going to talk about better things," and just like flips you off and she walks just leads Blue away.
I like
My
that.
hand sort of strays to bear gloves. I'm like, no.
No.
It's reassuring.
What really happened?
Oh, I'm still on that. Well, I asked about Arcanite. Badly.
Correct me if I'm wrong now. I may have misunderstood something. It's unlikely, but it's plausible. Isn't that a highly illegal substance?
Yes.
So what you're essentially saying now is that you went into an establishment, walked straight up to the gentle, wouldn't hurt a soul Goliath there, and said, "Hello, do you do illegal substances?"
No, I merely inquired if he knew about any.
Odie sort of like
And then-
sort of comes over and just like, look, you gotta be careful who you mention this to. It is if the guard catch you, that's one thing. But I mean, if what Grimac was saying is true, like,
You know about this?
well, yeah.
I wasn't in the room.
Was she not?
No.
No.
Was she not?
No,
It's
it's just
just
the
us
party.
two.
Ah, damn, she wasn't. No, ignore that. I thought
I was
she.
like, wait
I
a
thought she'd come in.
minute. Everyone seems to know
Well,
about this.
Odie and Vincent are here as
Yeah,
well as
yeah,
Draska,
that's
so
what
they
I was
are
trying to
listening into you.
That's why I was
right now.
steering Lakara away, bugger.
So, the rest of you, come on, guys. I've got another story to tell you.
they're still there.
Damn it.
Right. Tomorrow we have this appointment to go. And Blue, come back.
We couldn't find the 10 gold you put over there.
Someone must have taken it.
Oh well, here's 10 gold.
That's the gold I gave you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you are a sweetheart. Like, drinks are on me. Drinks are on me.
I'll have
It's
10
just
gold's
I
worth
like
of drinks.
You'll have what you get, sir.
Yeah.
She walks
Yes,
over to the
that.
bar.
Why? I'm on your side.
That's just funny.
For now.
For now, yeah.
Look, okay, so we have this appointment with Grumac tomorrow evening. Beyond that, what does everyone need to do?
I mean, I do have an appointment at the battle arena. I have to keep. Did Sarah go back?
Right, I will be in the area anyway.
Oh, good. Great.
Yes.
Are you going to fight as well, or are you just...
No, there's a young woman from the Order who was here not long before us, and she was either upset or worried about something. I'd like to follow it up.
There can't be that many of you in the Order. Surely you must know each other.
I have no. All I know is it's a young woman, probably novitiate, so probably around my age.
I mean, there's lots of people around your age.
I
I
don't know what more you want me to say.
Is she still here in Yibrit?
I have no idea. That's why I'm going to
See,
check.
it sounds like your investigation is slightly worse than my investigation.
Your investigation's a glorified pit fight.
No, I was more meaning the Arcanite, but never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mistook you for the time where you walked into a shop and said, "Do you do this highly illegal substance?"
Alright.
They're getting quite loud
Yeah,
at the
he's doing the
moment.
opposite.
Odie and Vincent sort of
Alright.
coming over. Guys,
I
right.
imagine every so often.
Guys, right, look. Well, look, shall we, we've had a word with the people behind the bar. We've got accommodation sorted. Why don't everybody have a nice rest? You guys could probably do a night in an actual bed with some spare private space. Might do
Yeah.
some good.
Good. What are you doing tomorrow, Blue?
No. Whatever you guys are up to, I'll just tag along. Whatever sounds more fun. Trista, you got any plans apart from just earning
Just
money
sort
to
of like-
learn?
A whole sort of holding up. I would like to spend some time with my book.
Cool. Right. Yeah.
Nody's like, oh no, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, we'll get you a room in the library. Yeah, we'll set you up there. We'll get you some space. And she sort of nods, and Odie sort of takes her way upstairs.
Before that, I say, Drasta,
Looks at her.
I want to apologise for the way I spoke to you earlier. I just called you cats. I sort of made you out. I was in the right mind, and I hope the money I earned from my fight is some way towards that. I apologise.
She
That's
sort
what
of
I felt as well.
nods and goes, "You're okay for a human," and walks off.
I'll take that. I'll write that down as a
This little winks at you as she goes off.
Aubrey's little book of compliments.
And the two of them make their way
That's
up.
fine.
And unless you want to do anything else,
I fly to bed.
you are sort of led to your rooms, which are very comfortable. Actually, very comfortable. You have-
I would like to stop drinking for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. You very much can.
I'm gonna stay drinking.
I'm going to drink opposite side of the bar, away from Theren.
Perfect.
Where are you gonna drink, Blue?
I fly.
Decision time.
Flying up to bed.
It's like that moment in any RPG where you've got two love interests.
Are you actually flying out the room?
Yes.
Yes.
But not like superhero.
So
I'm
you-
just standing up, playing my hurdy-gurdy, slowly
Floats
levitating off
up.
the ground.
Yeah,
Fucking
people
Dalek
are like
going
dancing to the music. Oh, look at him! Look at him go as he like wanders around. Absolutely loved it. You can see the tiefling man just still like sloshing around in his chair. Looks up. That's amazing! Yeah! Clapping his hands up.
Is there time for me to go and talk to Aubrey now?
Yes.
Oh, is it like, what time is it actually?
Sort of.
I'm guessing it's quite, you talk
You
quite
are
a lot.
knackered.
Yeah.
You haven't slept properly in days.
Mhm.
You are hungry. No
Yeah.
one's really got food.
Oh.
Nobody's really got drink. Yeah.
Part of
Well,
Blue.
you can go and get yourself food and water. You can go over to the bar. They do decent amounts of food. It is a comfortable menu, so it is very decent food actually, with chefs, with a menu. However, the prices are expensive. Almost like a rock in the middle of the ocean is not a great place to produce food. A meal, or meals effectively for the day, with breakfast included, will set you back. So the Yibrit modifier on the regular prices is 5 times. So what would normally be a 5 silver piece day is 25 silver pieces
Okay.
to feed yourself here for the evening and for the day.
So,
Or you can eat your rations. You've still got your rations as long as you're marking them off.
your rations. No, I've probably stand-up meal.
Yeah, I'll have a meal as well.
Yeah, I will do the
Yeah.
same.
Perfect. And it is good food. Really good food. You get some sort of game bird. You're not entirely sure what it is. It's bigger than a pigeon but smaller than a chicken, served with some sort of cranberry-like sauce, herbs, stuffing, just a beautiful assortment of sort of root vegetables as well. In the morning you're promised various sort of toasted breads, butters, all kinds of luxury goods you haven't had in days.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. And the two of you are kind of left to it. Blue's floated out the room, escorted with a small rabble of people to his room.
Thanks, Lucara. Bye.
Oh God, is Lucara still here with us? This awkward free trial.
Lucara at this point she's just drinking in the room. She's like happily got her money and is just having a whale of a time.
Hi guys.
Night, Blue.
Now he's. Good night, Blue. Thank you for looking after it. Now he's gone, can we talk?
Sure. What about?
About the fact of...
About that tattoo?
No.
Now, did you think about it?
Stop. You and I...
Sorry.
You and I have, to put it mildly, been butting heads quite a lot.
Look, I've given you a Bible. What more? You
Give me a Bible of a god that's not mine.
But you've now got 3.
Let's just put that. Look, let's
not make it.
for the sake of him, if nothing else.
Do it for the kids, guys.
Can we at least try and see eye to eye again for Blue? Other than have him stuck in the middle of our, let's face it, catastrophically opposing views.
Keeping the party together.
Also, he thinks he's a gnome. Have we?
Yeah.
Can we?
Should we just talk about that for a bit?
I mean,
It's really weird.
I don't. Well, how do we even approach that? I mean, I want at the same point. I want to sit him down and go, "You're not a gnome," but you can't just tell someone they're not a gnome.
He might just shatter his whole worldview.
I mean, if he identifies as a gnome, then who am I to say otherwise?
That's true. But he does think he is a gnome.
He does. He thinks he has a skin condition.
I
Now,
know.
it's not saying I just identify as a gnome.
Sure. Wait, what about? Here's a thought.
Right.
We go to the apothecary. Now, I have great experience with them. We get him tested, and it turns out it's hereditary or whatever. And
It's him not being a gnome is hereditary.
no skin condition. It's actually wait.
No,
I've mixed
but
all
then
my
we're
words.
lying to him. It's not right.
But no, we'd find out the truth. It's like a what they call
The truth
fan-
is he's a
fancy-
dragonborn.
Yeah, I know that, but maybe it better not come from us. Comes from some neutral.
Some strange.
I don't.
And we are there to pick up the pieces.
Look, I don't want to be insulting toward him because, let's face it, he's quite frankly a better person than either you or I.
That is true.
That is true.
But who
Is he invisible again?
I get the feeling that we're his only friends?
Why has he come to Yibrit? Did he tell you?
No, and I assume he hasn't told you. Frankly, we haven't told each other why we're here either, so let's not get judgy for that.
Let's just hang on. We'll come back to the meeting on. So what the fuck is he doing here?
Honestly, this is Blue we're talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if he just nipped out for milk and got lost.
That is a very Blue thing to do.
We could ask him. Should we go ask him now?
No, because he's gonna.
He's flown off, literally taking flight.
Let him give him the night. He's clearly had a really good day.
We're not going to ruin the day by saying why are you here.
No, I just don't think. I think like let him just have this tonight, and then we can talk about his motives,
Fine, then.
his ideals,
Fine, then let's go back to
maybe
discussing.
his flaws. We don't know.
You and I actually.
Damn, we're back to the subject. Okay. What?
I disagree with your insistence on keeping that thing because it endangers innocent lives. Do you understand why that is, at least?
I do understand.
Right. Now, please help me to understand why you consider it worth that.
Realistically, it doesn't endanger all his lives. It endangers one life. My own. As far as we know, or as far as Grimac knows, or anyone knows, it was used to bring me back.
I understand where you're coming from. My
So?
worry is only that in this information being relayed to this cartel or whoever it is, that they won't care that this substance might be inside you They will simply care that a deal was made and a deal was broken.
But here's the thing. Who knows about the lightning thing I do?
Blue and I, maybe the adventurers.
Exactly. No one on the ship knows about it. Umak doesn't know about it. We could. My plan is, if we go to this meeting, say that I've been brought back with powers, then maybe I can get closer to finding out what is going on between my family and this place. Maybe as a bargaining chip. My life, or what it's worth, to get information.
I would very
Doesn't
much
hurt.
appreciate it.
Doesn't hurt anyone else, only me.
Please stop referring to your life as something that we can just throw away. The things we did to get you back, I can't lose you again.
I nearly died today. Just an ordinary day for me. I appreciate it, but just how I am.
It sounds as if this cartel is an issue for the wider world anyway, and it would be against my orders not to investigate and fight them. So I'll help you in this.
What a favour. I will help you in any deed you do. Although I won't give you the scroll. Not yet. You have to earn it.
I never wanted the scroll, I simply wanted it returned.
If you want it returned, well, depending on how the meeting goes tomorrow, fight in the tournament on the 6th. Beat me, I'll return it.
You want to fight each other?
Yeah.
Tell me about this tournament.
Yes!
What's the deal?
I point out the book. I go, read.
And Aubrey spends some time explaining the
It's
tournament.
amazing. I beef up the whole crap about the serpent as if it was a really big match.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you all talk the night away, taunting each other with tournaments, coming to agreements. And eventually you're led to your rooms
Throw down.
and you make your way. They are comfortable rooms, proper beds, individual bathrooms, very,
Oh.
very nice. You sleep soundly and well. The first nights and ages that you just conk out
Conk out.
completely.
Excellent.
Except you, Blue.
Oh.
Yes! You dream. The random dreams, just crazy dreams of flying and invisibles and gases and lights and singing and all the kind of wild feelings that have sort of just appeared in you over the last sort of week or so. Just the skills and everything still, your brain clearly trying to process everything. But there's this humming. It just doesn't stop. The whole dream, it's just builds and builds, like a sort of tinnitus style ringing in the back of your ears, and it distracts you. You're flying in the dream and you find yourself dropping and you have to force yourself to fly, and you're invisible walking through rooms and people start looking at you, and you go to like sort of move through doors and get stuck halfway, you have to drag yourself out, and the dream just sort of gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and it just something's wrong, and the ringing gets louder and louder and louder and louder and louder, and then there's sort of almost like just the smallest of noises, like a sort of noise, like a crack, just a small one, and you wake up and it's the morning and everything is as it should be, until your hand just instinctually reaches for your hurdy-gurdy and you look down and you're about to put it down until just catches the side, the sky iron alloy, the wheel. You just look down at it, and you hadn't noticed before. The tiniest of crack slowly has formed. Just small, but slightly damaged. And on that, we shall end today's session.
What a climax! Broken music. Oh wow.
That's great. Yeah, we're doing loves. We've had a couple of great chill sessions. We've gone to explore the city. It's good. We've got some plot coming up, which is good. We've got various threads.
We're gonna fight.
We've got a tournament coming up.
Only if you
Got
can
a
use vertical,
meeting.
otherwise it's not fair.
It should be good. Well, I'll ask. We're actually, crazily enough, meeting tomorrow night to do the next session. So have a think about. You've basically got a day, apart from anything you've committed to, that you want to do. So have a think about what you want to do, so that when we ask, you've got an idea. We can role play as much as we want, or we can expedite as much as we want to kind of do what we need to do. Just think about shopping lists and all this sort of thing, and watch your money as well. Make sure you check everything off. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you next time. Bye.
See ya.